Happy Friday, my friend.
IRONWORX because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love IRONWORX with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that IRONWORX with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the IRONWORX.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. IRONrealmmedia is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the IRONWORX with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the IRONWORX and become an Iron Scout.
Wake up, it's a brand new day.
It's Friday, my dudes.
Good morning. I'm here.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe that dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard,
Except kids falling off bikes, maybe. Fuck, I could watch kids fall off bikes all day. I don't give a shit about your kid.
And a happy Friday. Do you hear it in my voice? The happiness of my Fridays. But the TGIF anyway, at least we made it. At least the week is over. At least I got tomorrow off. So that's always good. How about you, Zachary? How are you? Well, Zach's, there we go. Yeah. Totally.
Can't wake up.
I've been up since.
I'm off today.
Ooh, look at you, fancy pants.
But I gotta take the truck to get it. The oil change this morning. It shouldn't take too long though. They'd make a reservation for you and everything.
Oh, that's nice.
Just gotta show up. Yeah. Sorry to pay. I don't gotta do nothing. Just bring it, hand over the keys, get the key back, and leave. So that'll be nice.
That will be nice, provided everything goes smoothly. I just don't trust the bastards. Something about mechanic shops, seems like there's not a decent one around here. Not a mechanic you can trust to do it right. Like, can I trust you to honestly and truthfully diagnose and tell me only the things that are actually wrong with it? And then do you have the competency to fix the things that are actually wrong with it, and the competency and the wherewithal to put things back the way they're supposed to go? And that's such a rare combination that it's such a frustrating process.
Worthy mechanics are, worth their weight in gold.
Mm-hmm. No idea where Walter is. I thought for sure he'd have been here because I hadn't heard anything from him yet. Like, well, I was getting ready to come in here. It's about 20 till. Well, I've not heard from anybody, so I'm assuming everybody's going to be there. But I saw Zack send a message to Walt, but I've seen no reply and heard not a thing. So apparently, something happened on Wednesday. I'm not quite sure what it was. No idea. There was no specific incident. But boy, my hip was hurting. And it's not necessarily uncommon, except for that it's the wrong hip that usually hurts. Usually it's my left. This time it was my right. And it hurt different. I wasn't sure what the hell that was all about, but I went to work and did my thing. Finished up and left. And by the time I got home, I could just barely walk. I had been compensating all day, so my left hip now hurt also. My back hurt. My legs hurt. And then I still had that one weird, very specific pain in my right hip. I thought, man, getting old sucks. So I grabbed an ice pack, went to bed. Woke up yesterday. You barely roll over, let alone swing my leg out and put it on the floor. Like, I can stand fine. Like, I can put weight on it. A lot of times I can move it in a lot of directions, almost pain-free. Like, if I want to put weight on it, when my knee is bent, like, I'll fall over. I can't bear weight on it. So I went up to the urgent care, had them take some x-rays. They said they didn't see any breaks, any fractures. So that's good. So now I have a referral to an orthopedic doctor to have him take a look at it. And the more I got to poking around and prodding around, it's not necessarily my hip, but it's like my upper femur. I don't know what it is. It's like my wallet broke my leg. Because it's like when I sit in my car, it's right where my wallet falls. Because I've got those bucket seats, so they kind of come up a little bit around you when you sit. Yeah, Anna, it certainly does not feel like sciatica. I am familiar with sciatica. That is not what it feels like to me. Maybe it is, and it certainly could be. Usually my sciatica is a little more all-encompassing.
You shouldn't sit on a wallet in your back pocket.
Well,
just a half inch will throw off your spine eventually.
When I sit, I don't really sit on it. It usually comes up to the side a little. So I'm not like sitting on it specifically. It moves. And that's why when I was sitting in my car,
just your hip placement being off that quarter inch, half inch, whatever, constantly, year after year after year. I quit using a back wallet a long time ago. That was because we hung out in Chicago, and if you had a wallet in your back pocket, it was getting taken.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those wallets can mess up your spine pretty good. But it might be something in your back that's doing that to your leg. Pinched nerve or something. Something like that. Are there any shooting pains?
Nope.
Like electrical jolts?
Nope.
Nothing like that?
So like if I can grab right below my hip, and like grab the side of my leg, right at my upper femur, right at the very top of my leg below my hip, I can feel it. And if I squeeze, it's just like pain. Like I can feel there's something happening there. The only back pain that I'm really suffering from it is because I have to compensate when I walk and do shit, because if I tweak it wrong, I'm going to go down. So I have to like be careful. And then all the compensation makes everything else hurt because I can't just walk like I normally do. But like as a direct result of this pain, I don't feel any shooting pain or anything like that. I don't know. That fucking sucks. Like it's when it's not bad, it's not bad. Like sometimes I barely notice it, barely feel it at all. But when it's bad, it's bad. Lisi, I don't know if that's I really don't think it's sciatica. I've had sciatica. I'm, again, not unfamiliar with sciatica. I was throwing bales of hay 15 feet up in the air at the age of like 15 years old. I'm not unfamiliar with sciatica and back pain. And maybe because it stops at my hip right there, and that's something that I've not had to ever experience. That might maybe that's just a new sciatica pain for me, which I definitely will allow. That's what I told the folks up at there at the urgent care. Said I just really kind of need you to take a look, and so I can determine if I need to go to the chiropractor or go to the ortho surgeon. That's really all I wanted. But just the way that that it feels injured when I grab my upper thigh and kind of give it a squeeze and it feels like it's injured makes me think that it's not sciatica. And the lack of the shooting pains and tingling and numbness in my toes, and usually my sciatica throws so much off that it straight up to my fucking skull, like sciatica would kick off a migraine. Like I'm not totally unfamiliar with sciatica, and this just feels different. It's from the beginning it felt different than sciatica, which is the only reason I went to the urgent care. If I thought it was sciatica, I can stretch that shit out usually. But not this. It feels like an injury that just never happened. It's really strange. But then again, I also allow for the fact that my mom had both of her hips replaced, so there's that. And her brother too, he had his hips replaced. Just late last year, my sister had her first hip replaced. So, while I definitely do not want new hips, and I would much rather have mine until I have nothing, I also allow for the fact that I have to be aware that that might be a possibility.
Bad news.
Huh.
Not bad for me. Everybody's safe. But just Jack and his family's house, the trailer next to it, the tool shed next to that, and Jack's truck all burned down in a propane tank explosion. So they could use a little bit of help right now.
Every little bit would help. If you've got a link, share it. I saw you put it somewhere yesterday. Maybe was it Facebook? Did you actually share it on Facebook? That might have been where I saw it. And I went and donated a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, one of the best families I've ever met. Just, I'm going to be helping them out every paycheck. for until they get back on their feet. So I'm not going to be buying all my toys I wanted to buy here. Not just yet.
That's usually how it works.
But yeah, if you guys could help out, an amazing family that helps a lot of people. Really does. Has just really always helped all kinds of people. Really, I know people say that, but I've been saying this since I met them. This is one of the best families I've ever met. It's just being around them made me want to get a family. Like, it did. Yeah, I love the way they live. Every Saturday, they all sit around. They don't do any work or anything like that. But sit around and play board games and have their family day. Yeah, it's awesome. But great family, and they could use a hand for sure.
And a big shout out to Liz, the Iron Maiden, who was the most recent contributor.
Hey.
I think she did post a link to something in Telegram. I've not had a chance to get over there and look at it yet this morning. But I think I did see her name on one of my notifications. And I saw her in chat the other day, in somebody's chat. I don't remember where I was. Yeah, I don't remember.
Geez, I don't even think I have Telegram anymore. Did it not come over to my new phone? Nope, there it is. Okay. Shows you how often I open up Telegram.
There's still some activity going on.
So, Artemis is going to be doing 24,000 miles an hour when it hits Earth's atmosphere. Are they going to blow it up?
I did see a headline yesterday. I didn't stop and read anything about it, but the headline thought, seems like they might be setting up for something. I think the headline was, "Everyone is watching Artemis 2's heat shield." But really, that's interesting. Why, of all things, is that an issue? Like, I thought we'd come to the conclusion that those things can be problematic, and those problems had been solved. But apparently not. They just went ahead and threw them up there anyway. Great.
Propane, something caught on fire on the front porch, and it caught propane tanks up, and then that just spread everywhere once the propane tank blew up.
Was it one of the big ones?
I am not sure. I do not know. I heard this 2 days ago while I was at work. I saw Alex's post on Facebook. Yeah, that sucks. But I know the family. I'm sure I'm sure they lost things that they really liked and everything like that. But as long as everybody's okay, I know that they'll bounce back. This family will. Yeah, I told them I'm free on Sundays. I know they don't really. They follow Torah so observantly. Jack probably wouldn't allow you to come over and clean up his yard on Saturday. Saturday is a day of rest, not just for him and his family, but for everyone. Torah observant people do not let other people work for them on Saturday. You know, you see those one rich people that claim to be Jewish and they have their servant light their fires on Saturday and drive their cars for them. And that's not how it's supposed to happen. Nobody is supposed to work for you on Saturday at all. And they follow that. Oh. Yeah, that sucks. It's one of those things that can get out of control real fast without you even knowing that it even started. Yeah, fire is definitely not a toy. I'm blessed that I haven't burned somebody's house down. All the stuff we used to play with, me and my buddy.
Oh, I thought maybe you used to have a real kind of temper.
No. No. We used to play with gasoline a lot. And then my buddy decided he was going to pour it on his hand. And it'll go out. Yeah, it didn't go out. Definitely not right away. Like he lit it and did one of those, like to make it go out. And yeah, that didn't happen. And he was like, oh shit. And then he's like, I can still see his, I remember it. I remember his haircut that he had at that time. Just the look on his face, his braces, man. Yeah, his hand was all messed up after that. But I learned, don't pour gas on yourself and light it on fire.
You know, I saw a Chinese monk one time when I was young. Taught me the same lesson.
Rage Against the Machine cover.
Yeah.
Do you think there was any point when while that monk was doing that where he was like, maybe this wasn't the best idea?
Nope.
I don't either. How do you sit through that and just be like, yep, fuck you. I'm burning alive in front of you. And not twitching or moving at all. Fuck off. I don't know if I have that kind of willpower, to be honest. Like, it's your body's natural response to save your life. They say when people are hung, their legs kick out and try to find something to stand on, you know, just automatically. It's just what your body does. You don't have any control over it usually. People that are trying to hang themselves, like, will reach out and try to get to the chair or this or that. Like, your body, it's amazing what our bodies do. Like, not just physically or this or that, but automatically, without us thinking about it. That's why I don't think these robots are ever going to come close to being a human being. I don't think you'll have a robot standing there looking at a big thing of rubber bands and be able to pick out that one rubber band that's just going to come out. Oh. It's cold out here. 44 degrees this morning.
Dang, yo. That's a little chilly. I'm like a balmy 68.
Dang, that'd be nice. Nope, it's supposed to be in the 60s next week in the morning. Getting up into the mid 80s.
That's where we've been all week.
I'll be looking for shade. We've been in like the 60s, high 50s, low 60s. Been cold mornings. They spoiled us for like a week where I was up one day. No, it was still only like 60 degrees. I'm not wearing just my t-shirt when it's 60 degrees. But it hit those 80s, and I was like, well, yeah. Did real good at work this week. The crew that I was working with, 2 of the guys are from Puerto Rico. They go home, they work 8 days straight, and then they get 6 days off. And like 2 of the guys were from North Carolina, some were from Georgia and Alabama, and then those 2 were from, Costa Rica, or Puerto Rico, I mean. And we didn't bluster. It was super easy. They were off-road most of the time, but they never had to wait for us, you know. We were always out of the truck, standing there waiting for them when they needed to move. They didn't have to ask us to stop traffic. We had traffic stopped, and all they had to do was, as soon as they started up their trucks, we'd stop stuff. They'd look at us, throw them a thumbs up, and they could go and move out and do what they had to get down to the next pole. So yesterday, he was like, we have to leave at 11. They had to catch a flight. He's like, you did good this week. I know you guys need your hours. You can mark down 5 o'clock. Thank you. That had me a paid nap yesterday. It was nice. Yeah, it had been a minute since I had one of those short days. They're coming, though. Summertime, when it gets above 90, those guys don't want to be out there past noon, 1 o'clock at the latest, usually. 3 o'clock's the hottest part of the day. They definitely don't want to be up there in those buckets where it's probably about 20 degrees hotter. Wearing all that shit. Yeah, no. I never realized. Last year when I worked my first week, that very first day, I see because they have to wear these big, thick rubber gloves. Not really a glove, it's like an arm. It comes up past their shoulders. Then has these leather straps that like connect them to hold them on. But it's real thick leather. Like thicker than rain boot. Not leather, but rubber. And yeah, that first day, dude, I saw him come down, and then he like lifted one end held it by the finger and lifted it up. And no joke, at least a cup of sweat came pouring out of that glove. At least a cup of sweat out of one glove.
It's pretty nice.
I was like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, you know, I sweat a lot. I'm sure I sweat a cup, but I never had something there to catch it and show it to me. Like, yeah, it just blew my mind. I was flabbergasted.
You'd be surprised how fast you can accumulate a cup. I mean, out of an arm is pretty crazy. Like I know, once upon a time, trying to cut weight as a wrestler, you carry around quite a bit of water weight. Unnecessarily. Well, probably necessarily, but sometimes.
Whoa.
And I do feel very strong and intense need to give a shout out to both Melissa the Accidental Alchemist and Justin Billingtano. I got a little package in the mail yesterday. Just want you to know it did actually come. I do actually have it. And while I'm interested to see what it does for my hands, I will say I tried some on my hip and it had little effect. But it was at the end of the day because I got it in the mail and it had already been aggravated. So I'm going to try it again this morning before I go to work and see what it does, sort of to stave off the aggravation. Because getting out of bed this morning wasn't super bad. Morning time isn't necessarily so bad if I haven't been using it for multiple hours or really aggravating it for multiple hours. If I can rest it, it's not bad. But by the end of the day, after having used it, wasn't much help in that. I'm going to try it this morning. Definitely going to use it on my hands. So I look forward to trying it out, and I will let you know how it affects all of my normal aches and pains and complaints.
Ooh.
And I'm really surprised Walter's not here yet. I really anticipated him being here, having not heard anything.
He's usually real good about it, letting us know if he won't. But it's happened before. Oh. What else is going on out there? Has Trump made any more insane comments lately?
Probably. I will say I opened Teams this morning. I had a bit of an issue finding this call because I had some new messages that were waiting for me that had taken precedence over the call, which is usually at the top, because that's really about the only thing I use Teams for. But there had been some conversations that had some new comments added. So I went back and read it, and apparently the Adam Meekin had dropped a message. Well, I think 3 messages on the 3 conversations that we are still together in. But apparently he has co-authored a book, which I thought was kind of interesting. Welcome to Flat Earth, as written by John Stunja and Adam Meekin, which I thought was pretty cool. In this book, Betty Van Velsen, one of the pioneers of the early Flat Earth community, guides you through the substantial body of evidence she uncovered on her personal journey. With co-authors John Stunja, also known as Quantum Eraser, and Adam Meekin, Brian Lonergan, Kim Hopkins, she presents decades of careful research in a clear, calm, and direct conversation. No hype, no pressure, just truth. This is the ultimate Flat Earth reference. Every heliocentric worldview is carefully examined and rebutted, and every Flat Earth proof is rigorously supported. All with full academic level citations and references from Aristophanes to Einstein. This book applies true scientific method, invokes natural law, and encourages reasoned and logic-driven conclusions, making clear that, quote, hypotheses aren't simply useful tools in some potentially outmoded vision of science, they are the whole point. It showcases an illuminating set of flat Earth proofs, the decisive triumph of perspective, the legendary black swan photograph, explosive NTSB aircraft pitch data, and the fundamentals of elevation angles and their critical importance in the celestial navigation. The book is brought vividly to life with a rich collection of information and often amusing diagrams that make complex ideas instantly clear and memorable. Clear, logical, and warmly accessible, it delivers solid, compelling evidence that will strengthen the conviction of lifelong flat earthers, convince skeptics, and bring genuine understanding to newcomers alike. You may never see the horizon the same way again. Welcome to Flat Earth. Available in both Kindle and hard copy paperback. on Amazon.com.
Holy go, Mr. Meekin.
Way to go. You too, Mr. Stunge, reducing yourself to the crayon munchers and putting yourself out there.
Oh, fuck you. I love eating crayons.
Andrew B.
What up, Andrew?
Good morning. Top of the morning to your life.
How's your week been going so far?
Finals week, so stressful. Making sure all these retards are going to actually pass the course. Well, they're not all retards, but
it's most of them.
You mean you need to make sure that they all understand the information well enough to pass the course? You could just pass them if you wanted to, couldn't you? Like,
yeah,
isn't that just
when they're on their cell phone constantly, I just stare at them like,
pass.
No, I don't do that.
You should be like Sam Kennison in Back to School.
That's a great movie. I love that.
Say it.
Well, actually, sometimes I do that. Well, I mean, not to the extreme of Sam Kennison, but no, I'll raise my voice. I'll start using vulgarities.
Yeah, they're all adults.
Yeah, but well, what do you
legally.
really consider anything over 18? Apparently, right?
Yeah, legally they're adults.
Yeah.
I know people that are older than me that I wouldn't consider adults yet.
Yeah.
That's me.
You a Toys R Us kid?
I'm not sure.
How does that song go? I don't want to grow up. I want to be a kid.
I'm a Toys R Us kid. Got more toys at Toys R Us.
There's a million kinds of Toys R Us that I can play with. From bikes to planes to video games.
Video games is the biggest toy store there is. I don't want to grow up, because if I did, couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys. Oh boy.
And they're out of
Toys
business.
R Us kid.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to share my screen.
588-2300. Who knows that number? 1-800-588-2300.
No clue.
Got me.
Empire Carpet. 588-2300. Empire today. You never
I
had
think
those
you're like
commercials?
one of like 3 people alive that know the answer to that.
That might have been a regional thing.
Yeah. So here we go. I know the Artemis, whatever bullshit is going on.
Daz got it. Daz knew it in chat.
He did. Oh, so you're one. Oh, there's 2 people here that know that. Okay. I wonder where the third one is. So the Artemis bullshit is getting a little annoying, even though they're saying it's supposed to be happening with the re-entry today. But this is something interesting. On this day in space, April 9th, 1959, NASA introduces the Mercury 7 astronaut. And look at these alleged spacesuits. These are very different. They were all military test pilots before they were chosen for the job, and they had all the right stuff to take on such risky missions. But in a way, they essentially became guinea pigs for NASA's new human spaceflight program because they didn't get to do much piloting inside the Mercury spacecraft. Some of the pilots weren't too happy about this, but the rest of the country paid no attention to that, and the Mercury 7 instantly became national heroes. In 1961, Alan Shepard became the first American to fly in space, followed by Gus Grissom. Right. Get through some stuff. Then in 1962, John Glenn became the first American to orbit the Earth. Bullshit. Oops, I had to clear my throat. Bullshit again. After that, Scott Carpenter, Wally Schirra, and Gordon Cooper all completed orbital missions as well. Deke Slayton, the only Mercury 7 astronaut not to fly a Mercury mission, later flew on the historic Apollo-Soyuz mission, the first joint flight by two countries, the United States and Soviet Union. And I am just calling bullshit on it because there's way too much stuff that got flagged immediately. And I don't even have to do it. It's everyone else is paying really close attention to every single thing in their 24-hour live stream, even though they say, oh yeah, it's not really 24 hours because they lose a signal at some point. Why? Well, because of bandwidth. Okay. I understand bandwidth. Explain to me. And then they can't. Because they're fucking lying. That's the right. People just want to believe it. This is why I have to stop hanging out in Discord so much.
Do you think they're going to release the telemetry data this time?
Fuck no.
Like, no. Do you think they could just make it up and...
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we were here. We were there. Like, they didn't want to go through all that last time.
Well, I think they got better at faking it. But I'm going to give it a 90.
They may have gotten better at faking it, but the resolution has gotten so much better as well. So it's kind of a, a double-edged sword for them there. Yeah, their technology has gotten a lot better at faking stuff, but our eyes to watch them are a lot better now. So it's a lot harder to fake stuff. And there's never been one movie where there isn't a mistake. You can go through any movie you want. Somebody's going to be wearing a watch. The next cut, they're not. There's going to be somebody holding something. The next cut, they're not holding it. Go back, they are holding it. I bet you could find this in every single movie out there. You can find little, missteps. You know who was great and is back is Bling Bling of the ISS. Christine, or was it Christine?
I don't remember.
Oh, they called her Bling Bling though. Bling Bling of the ISS. She was amazing at going through NASA videos and finding all this stuff. Like, she had an eye for it. She would go through in slow motion, frame by frame. She's the one who found the camera reflection in shiny stuff. Like, I forget where. But it was so obviously there was a camera person sitting right there recording it. And you could see, like, their watch, and they weren't in a suit. And this was supposed to be outside the ISS. Yeah, Bling Bling of the ISS was her channel name. I think it was taken down. But I just saw that she was jumping back into it.
I thought you were saying that one of these alleged astronauts was called Bling Bling.
No. Okay. This was a flat earther from like 2015, 2016 when she started.
And I think Bling Bling is on Jax's payroll.
Okay. So one of the things that I...
Oh, sorry, real quick. Did you guys see Witset's back?
Oh, yeah.
I did not.
He's just always on at like 10 o'clock, 10:30. He's such a night owl, dude. I cannot.
And Iro was on his stream yesterday as well. Iro took over probably at least half of the stream. But it was good.
Iro's the man.
Oh, yeah. He was going through some stuff that a lot of people have not really paid attention to in regards to the actual Artemis thing, which I'm going to say I'm giving it a 98% bullshit rating. And I don't have the time or effort or even, I don't really care too much about it because it's just not important to me. But when I start to see other people that actually go through it with a fine-tooth comb, they're like, look at this. This was live. It's still live. This is what they're showing you. You can just slow it down. You're like, oh, fuck. Like, what is going on here? It's like, that's number 512 of the reasons I don't care and trust NASA. Here's a question for you guys. If there was a job proposal from NASA, and they contacted you and said, yeah, you're good to go. Background check. We don't even care if you smoke weed at work. I don't give a shit, something like that. And it's $200 an hour. Would you guys do it?
Doing what?
You have to work for NASA.
Well, do I get to like play with electricity things and advance it, or do you want me to lie?
Top secret security clearance.
So I'd be lying to people.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't take no, because I'd be dead. They'd kill me. I mean, I'm good at keeping my mouth shut when I think that it's necessary, right? Like at work, I'm not allowed to share certain things with. I've signed non-disclosure agreements and all that kind of stuff. I don't share people's secrets. I don't even share other people's business with other people. But if some corporation is lying to the masses, then yeah, I'm going to tell people about it. That's what that little voice in my head has always told me to do.
The reason I'm asking that is because I work right down the road from this place called Moffett Field. And it's a federal airfield.
Yep. Is that 2F, 2 T's?
I think it's 1 T. I haven't typed it in for a while. It's right next to Google headquarters. Like there's a gate that actually connects the two of them. And so Moffett Field is south of Google. So they have their own. Google has their own private little airfield or landing strip or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. Anyways, and there's the big blue cube. Is that Walter?
No, that was me. I'm sorry. Talking to Hank.
Yeah, okay, yeah, Moffett Field, big blue cube. I don't know what's inside of it. I had a couple of electrician coworkers that did some work in there, and they said they had to sign an NDA, and they were only allowed to go into certain areas. I don't know what the fuck is inside there. Something weird. And you can barely see it from the freeway because it's usually obstructed by trees and bushes on the side of the freeway. But I've met some people that work at Moffett Field and NASA.
You want to stop sharing your screen real quick, Andrew?
Oh, shit. I'm still sharing. Oh, fuck me. Whoops.
No, you just, that's better.
No problem. Okay. Whoops. So I've actually talked to some of these NASA employees. The only reason I knew they were NASA employees is because they had their badge on as they were going to the, as they were buying weed at the cannabis dispensaries. I don't give a shit. Smoke weed, I don't know. Fuck. But, so I would stop them and ask them about that kind of stuff, and a lot of them, some of them are pretty open about it. It's like, how much do you make? About $500,000 a year. Like, whoa, shit. But then I'm thinking, okay, that's around $250 an hour, and they don't know what they're necessarily doing. They're just lying to people. They don't even know they're lying. They're just following a protocol. I don't understand. I mean, aside from the money, I don't understand how people have never questioned it. Like, am I doing something legitimate here? Sort of like going into the military, being a police officer. You know, these things where you're basically instructed to lie to the public. Maybe not necessarily lie, but you're not allowed to tell the truth. There's certain aspects of government NASA, number one. And when I become president, I'm shutting that shit down.
So what you're saying is, if I were to tell you something in confidence, I can expect you to run and tell everybody, because who are you to keep secrets?
Oh, NASA, why the fuck are there secrets? I'm for the military, I can understand that, but NASA? What the fuck is going on? Oh, they're just going to be going around the moon for some weird reason. But it's top secret until they tell the public. Meanwhile, it's still top secret. That's the conundrum. So, it's just very, very irritating for me. It doesn't keep me up at night, but when I asked, like yesterday, I was on Discord.
When you go to a post office, should you just be allowed to go and walk around wherever you want? Like, go wander through the back rooms and check out, rummage through some of the mail bins, make sure all the mail's looking good deliverable, nice and deliverable condition. Make sure.
No.
Why not?
Because there's a bit of a privacy issue in regards to the post office. Other people's mail.
So you can agree that there might be areas that should be off limits.
Of the post office, yeah, they're locked doors. You have to have a security badge. And you could see the same thing at a power plant or at the Department of Veterans Affairs, at a pharmacy, lots of different places. But we're not paying for the same kind of thing with NASA because we're not expecting the public to be like, oh yeah, can I see every single thing and every single tool? It would just turn into a fucking museum, which I'm planning on doing. I'm going to turn every fucking one of those into a museum. Make money off of it, not trying to steal money from the public. And yeah, there's certain aspects of it. You're not going to go to a weapons facility where they're manufacturing assault rifles and, you know, bombs and whatnot. Expect to have full access to all of that. But it's fucking NASA. They're telling us what they're doing consistently. And top secret security clearance is required for most of those positions. Why?
Because there's information that they're entitled to that we are not, just like in the military, just like at the post office.
Post office doesn't require security clearances.
But there's limitations on to where you can go. It's the same thing. Maybe you don't like their reasoning. Maybe you think you should be entitled to just go wherever NASA, just walk around NASA facilities and go wherever you want, snapping pictures at all their stuff. But they would say, maybe not. In fact, I don't think those employees should go and run and tell you about the shit that you shouldn't be taking pictures of. I suspect that postal workers sign an NDA, and postal workers aren't supposed to go running their mouths about exact security protocols at a post office.
I do have one of my students. He just got out of my class, new module, and he came to class so many times, and he was wearing or using that USPS, that duffel bag kind of thing. And I was like, why do you have that? Eventually, like, John, what do you have that for? He said, oh, I used to work for the post office. Oh, well, why'd you quit? He's like, because they don't pay shit. Fucking horrible pay. And there's almost no supervision and guidance at all. But I have also I've met people that are Amazon drivers. And same concept. I mean, they're more crooked than the post office. You can go to a FedEx, UPS, or USPS, and as far as I know, Amazon, the fulfillment centers, just walk right in. Big roll-up doors that are open, tons of people coming and going constantly. Yeah, maybe an NDA, but NASA, I would think they would be a little more open to it, since they're trying to be as transparent as possible, even though they're lying to us consistently. Maybe that's why they have to have these security clearances. Like, once you find out, you can't tell anyone. That's my opinion.
What if they disclosed contact with other beings?
Thought that might have been one of the rebuttals. Josh, I really like how you don't just agree with me, and that's why I don't like, oh, Andrew, you're the smartest guy in the fucking world. Good idea. I hate when people do that. No, I like the hitting the cat backwards kind of thing. Going against the grain. Makes me think better. But in regards to other beings, I don't know if NASA would actually have, I mean, they might have quite a bit to do with that, but I think there might be something else.
What do you mean?
Like, some like CIA kind of thing.
Somebody that might have jurisdiction over NASA, you mean?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, not just NASA, but like the Air Force.
Mm-hmm. And they could say, hey, NASA, you can't talk about this shit. And NASA says, but Andrew said.
Oh, yeah. President Andrew Baker is going to be, I don't give a shit.
No.
Impeach
but,
me.
No. Andrew Baker said that we're NASA and we should just disclose everything. That we shouldn't have any secrets. But now you're telling us that we can't talk about it. So what should they do? Does NASA take orders from the jurisdiction above them and not discuss the things that they've seen, done, or heard? Or should they just be like, well, we're NASA. We're trying to be as transparent as possible, so here's everything we just experienced. Up to and including the names and photographs of the people that told us that we shouldn't be discussing the CIA stuff. But here you go, because we're NASA. Or do you think maybe we should just have some things that are secret? And there's probably a reason why security clearances are necessary. Even if what you're doing is fake, you might run across information that isn't just to be shared with public because that's not your information to share.
If we are getting taxed, like every person in the country, legal, citizen in the country is getting taxed, and we are being forced to provide money towards a certain organizations such as NASA and other things, I think that we should have a certain amount of available disclosure, Freedom of Information Act as an example, which is kind of bullshit.
Absolutely. And for some things, you don't even need a FOIA. NASA has full repositories of free information, open and available to the public. All you got to do is go access it. I mean, it's not everything, no, but they do have information that is open and available, free to the public, for anybody that wants to access it.
Right.
So that's available. But there's also information that the public is not privy to.
So other organizations, such as, I'll just go hardcore, the NSA, the CIA, and the DOD.
Mm-hmm.
Again, American taxpaying money is going towards those, and I fully understand as to why you wouldn't want to make all of that available to the public. However, NASA, they recruit civilians.
So does the CIA.
Well, they're not really considered civilians at that point. I don't think they are. Once they get hired.
For sure. Being an access agent does not make you an employee of the CIA. Right? Just because you have access to somebody that somebody in the CIA wants access to, and they use you to get to them, does not mean that you are now having taxes taken out of a paycheck that is issued to you by the CIA. Like, oh, we had one of our agents talk to you to get to you so that they could get to somebody else. So now we're going to give you an EIN and start cutting you a check. That's just not how that works. You're still a citizen.
NASA tries to make it as blatantly obvious as possible that what they're trying to do is put satellites up in the sky and rocket launches and bullshit like that. And yet, a lot of those people still require top secret security clearances. And I get it to a certain extent, but for the most part, I think it's just, why the fuck are we not allowed to know about it when it's not that big of a deal? If they're, as you were saying earlier, if they have contact with lizard people or something like that, all right, understandable. Yeah, top secret shit. You can't talk about that. You can't go to Steven Spielberg or Fox News or some bullshit like that. No, you can't. But I've met enough.
But as far as satellites go, you think there should just be a live stream that people should be able to access 24/7 and see whatever the fuck the satellite sees flying over, whenever and whoever, whatever the path is. Like anybody should just be privy to that information, is what you're saying.
Most of them don't have cameras. Most of them have transmitters and receivers. Satelloons, at least. The other satellites might exist. I'm about 50-50 on it. But if those were in total existence, they wouldn't need to be using satelloons. And I have actually seen them being used.
So you're saying the information being used by these satellites should be open and free to the public because they're NASA satellites or satelloons, however you want to refer to them. But because they're being used, we should have that information, right?
Some of them can be for intranet versus internet. It can be used for intranet.
Either way, we should. I mean, wouldn't your argument be for both? Like your argument shouldn't matter on that, right? It's gonna. If it's just the internet that it's open and available to the public, then great, go ahead. But if it's only used for NASA and the NASA's intranet, then isn't your whole argument that that should be open and free to the public, just like the internet?
No, because the intranet is
might have proprietary information in it.
Yes.
Yes. This should only be available to certain employees. Not like every single NASA employee, but certain NASA employees, right? Should they be able to talk about that information with other people at the bar and stuff?
Depending on the situation, but yes.
They should be able to take that proprietary information they got from NASA and the information that's being used to transmit on that satellite and talk about it to people, rando people at the bar.
All right.
That maybe security clearances at NASA and information not being available to the public is probably a good thing. I'm sure we can argue that there's information that power is abused, for sure. And that there's a lot of information that they keep private that should be public, yes. But I think you can't just say, well, because they're NASA, they should just make all that information should just be open and available to anybody that wants it. Because there's a lot of information there.
Well, I'm not talking about when I was working at the VA, I didn't know everything that was going on. I was working in engineering.
Right.
And I knew fuck all about what's going on with the patients and the nurses and the doctors and all that, but at the same time, I was privy to some of it. And yeah, it was on a need-to-know basis. And I never had to sign any NDAs.
Well, they're covered by HIPAA.
That's on the medical side. I was in engineering.
And nobody ever told you not to share people's personal information?
Oh no, we had to go through the training once per year.
Which training? What training?
HIPAA training.
HIPAA training. So you were HIPAA trained.
Sounds weird to say it like that, but yeah.
All right.
It's once per year.
So you were aware that there were consequences for you if you went and started sharing patient info, private personal information from the patients.
Yeah, but I didn't deal with patients.
But you dealt with the information, the healthcare information of the patients. Yes? There was a possibility you could see it. There's a reason they felt a need to train their engineer under HIPAA. Correct?
I never saw medical records.
There was a reason they felt a need to train the engineer under HIPAA, correct? Maybe you didn't, but you could have. Right? Maybe you didn't, but you could have. So they had to make sure that you understood there are consequences if you just take this information and run out and use it, because this isn't public information just for anybody to know. That's why you can't share that HIPAA information. And why? Because in your training you knew that there were consequences if you got caught sharing protected information. Same thing at NASA. There's consequences for sharing protected information. And that information is protected probably in layers and stages, requiring clearance from one stage to the next.
I don't think they should be trying to hide anything from us. It's like they try to be as public as possible. Like, well, hang on a second. We can't tell you everything. Just trust us.
Then let's just do it, Andrew. Should we have the information of the astronauts' health care? For fuck's sake.
No.
Of course not, because there's going to be information that we're not privy to, correct? They can't just make all the information public, can they? The fuck?
Josh, you're fucking with me now. All right.
A little bit. Sort of. In so much as Tom likes to fuck with Jerry. Come on now. You can't just make all the information public. for the reasons you just explained to me when you're HIPAA trained. You make the sole argument as to why you just can't go around sharing that sort of information, especially when it comes in the military. And the next breath say, well, I just think NASA should release all their information. But astronauts have medical information.
They tell us a lot of stuff. Artemis 2 is going to be launching at approximately this time. Here are the astronauts. They're going to be on it. Here's where they're from, how old they are, their first and last names, and the engineers that were on the design team. That's kind of what they call it. They won't tell you much else. I mean, that's a good amount of information. Granted, I'm going to still say I call bullshit to most of the Artemis entire situation. But what else should they be able to keep from the public? Top secret satellites that are being launched with the Air Force that are used for DoD purposes.
And maybe access to that information, security codes that would require that you would need to access that information so that only certain people would have those codes. Not like everybody in the NASA, but like only certain people. And a way to determine which people are worthy of having access to those codes versus all the rest of the public NASA employees. Yeah, I think so.
I think it's very odd.
Not you? You don't think there should be maybe certain information that should be protected?
Not really, no.
No? Do we need to go back to astronauts' healthcare, for fuck's sake?
Certain information, yes, can definitely be important in order to avoid personal information, to avoid scamming and identity theft, things like that. Yep. That's already failed multiple times.
Social security numbers.
Say again?
I want their social security numbers.
Yeah, I want their fucking blood type and their mother's maiden name.
All right, I'm going to take a left turn here.
Do it.
And this is right up your alley, Andrew, as you're a teacher. So in Baltimore, there was like 123 kids, right? Maybe 128, maybe something like that. Somewhere right around there in the 120s. They go to this school. Well, the senior just found out that he's got to go back to 9th grade.
What the fuck?
He has a 0.13 GPA, and he is ranked 63rd out of 120-something kids.
That can't be possible. Come on.
This is Baltimore.
A 0.13?
And it's still in the top 50th percentile of his class?
Yes. Yes. Missed 272 days of school. Passed 3 classes in 3 years.
There's cats and dogs that are smarter than that.
There's a catch, though, right? Now, listen, you're thinking, oh, this kid didn't do nothing, blah, blah, blah. So he fails Algebra 1. Next year, they put him in Algebra 2. He failed Spanish 1. They put him in Spanish 2. Now, wouldn't that tell you that you advanced? Like, they didn't let us go into Algebra 2 if you didn't pass Algebra 1. Like, you didn't get to go to that next class. You had to take the first one over because you failed it.
Yeah, I understood that it was a prerequisite to have successfully completed
but they just kept
the prior. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
to
don't
move on to
worry.
the next one. But they're not. They're just letting children, all these children, not just this one, there's many of them, just advance while failing. That's not on the children. That's not on the
okay.
parents, in my opinion.
He's going to be your next pilot when you're flying across the country. You're
That's
good to
what
go.
I worry about. That's the kind of shit I'm worrying about.
Bad mouthing Charlie Kirk for being a racist. Because that's what he saw on television.
Oh, the DEI thing? Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But it's crazy what these administrators, not even just the teachers, but the administrators, how do you move children into harder classes when they miserably failed the easier one, the prerequisite one?
I know the answer.
They just want to get them out.
Exactly.
Just get them through.
Yep.
They don't care.
Because when it comes to teaching, whether it be, it doesn't really matter. It's my fucking classroom. And I'm the only one at the entire school that is able to dictate what the grades and the attendance are for my students. No one else can change them by law. California state law. And there are certain parameters I have to follow, but like I had to fail 3 students. Yesterday was the end of the module, and in my afternoon class, I had to fail three students, and then two students in my evening class. And there is absolutely nothing that anyone can do about it, even going up to the campus director. No one can do shit about it. And some instructors will break the rules basically. Yeah, they're just like, I don't want that fucker in my class again. Fucking move him through. Like, dude, come on. No. Teach them. Learn how to teach them.
I have a question, Andrew.
Yes, sir.
Are there repercussions if you fail too many? No. Like, if you run across just like, you get like consistently, module after module, an inordinate amount of just these kids from Baltimore that can't fucking read, that can't do fucking basic algebra, and now they're fucking in your class, and now you have to deal with them. You can't just be like, I've tried the entire module I've given them my best good faith effort to teach these kids, and they just cannot understand it. They don't understand it, and they're no better off now than when they started, and it's a complete and total fail, and there's just so many of them, there's nothing I can do. Like, well, okay. Like maybe you're not right for this job because you can't teach the kids, or they're like, man, that sucks. You've got to deal with all these, illiterate kids that are coming from these high schools into modules like this, and they have no clue what you're even saying, talking like it's a foreign language.
Oh, no, I get what you're saying. And if it comes into that situation, well, I get audited once per module when our director of education and our campus director, they come in. They don't even tell us when they're coming in. They just sit in the back of the class, and as I'm doing a demonstration on something, or they'll come out into the lab and they'll watch everyone. And I guess I have to toot my own horn at the moment, but I have the absolute highest level of retention and placement at the entire school.
That's awesome.
So I don't know what the answer is because I don't fuck around. I tell it to the students. Like, I'll say it to their face. I'm not here to fuck around with you. So I'm here to make you electricians and potentially engineers and contractors. That's the intention of the course. So I've never fucked around like that. I don't know what the answer is, but for me, I've never had that. I have a 95% retention rate, graduation rate, and placement rate. Well, placement is 92%, I think.
When you say placement, are you talking like after graduation?
Right, yeah. It's called the 70-70 rule. So 70% of the students that enroll are required to graduate, and then 70% of the students that graduate are required to be enrolled within their field of study within 1 year. So it's a 49% technically.
Gotcha. So there is a certain expectation that you can't just start failing everybody. there's an expectation of you, I think at least, that you get at least 70% of your class that enrolls in your class to graduate your class, correct?
Yep.
Gotcha. So it's not like, these stupid kids are just too fucking retarded, I have to fail them all consistently, and like you just can't always blame the kids, I guess is what I'm getting at some point.
Oh, some of them are fucking retarded.
Oh, I have no doubt. I was just kind of curious.
I mean, Stanford is just down the road from where I work, and that's another private college. They have the same rules. Caltech, MIT, Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Duke, all these different places. Those are all private colleges, and they all have that rule. State-run colleges don't have that. Now, I'll never go to a state-run college again. I went to San Jose State for a little bit, but when it comes to private colleges, they cost more, obviously, but they're the best because the standards are different. And Zack it's a very interesting thing when it comes to the education system.
Yeah, I can't blame the teachers on that. The parent didn't even know her child had missed 272 days. They didn't even, well, according to her words, I know, J-Bug, you want a treat. I know. No, not right now.
But those are some of the weirdest things. Why would she say that?
But yeah, it's just, I don't get it. I mean, the mom has 3 kids, works 3 jobs, single mom. And she was like, I knew that he had failed those classes, but when they put him in the next advanced class, I assumed they had worked something out or something. I wasn't expecting him to go through all these classes, fail them, and then get moved all the way back to 9th grade again. Like, he should have been in 9th grade those whole years. He shouldn't have been moved ahead to any of those classes. Okay, guys. Hey,
I think 9th grade was kind of maybe 7th or 8th grade. I'd push him back there, kind of like a Billy Madison situation.
And you can only push him back. Kid's damn near 18. He's going to be an adult soon. Like, pretty soon you won't even be able to keep him in school. He's just going to go out there and just...
Yeah, he can just say, I'm not going to school.
Hopefully he will continue to fail upward. But it's pretty unlikely he will continue to fail upward.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that I have 4 really good friends that I grew up with. Brian, Steve, and Eric, and then myself. I'm the only one out of the 4 that actually graduated. And the rest of them, they took, Steve just flat dropped out because he was going to inherit his dad's pool cleaning company, which requires no education. And then Brian, who I've known since I was 3, he just said, oh, fuck it. My grandpa already paid for me to go to Italy and train as a culinary chef. That didn't work out. And Eric, I don't know what the fuck he's doing now. I've talked to him like 15 years, but when it comes to certain people in high school, as soon as they turn 18, you can't call the parent anymore and say, "What? Where is your son or daughter?" Because you can check yourself in and out. And as soon as they all turned 18, they dropped out. Like the day of. I didn't do that.
Nobody got time for that.
Oh, Lord, there's a fire. Normally, I don't like that kind of... I haven't seen that in a while. I'm going to pull it up in case people don't know what I'm talking about.
All right. She talked me into it. Treats have been given out. That's it. And then she walks out the door. Little stinker, I swear. I love dogs so much. They are so funny. Did you guys hear her barking at me?
Nope.
Teams must be doing his thing. It was like every 10 seconds or so, she'd just give her, like, dude, where's my treat? I'm going to sit here and keep making noise and bother you until you give me my treat. Well, I gave her a treat, and she ate it and then just trotted out the door. Like, yep, that's right, bitch. You did what I said. I'm done with you now. Later.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how noise suppression works, but if I were speaking right now and someone, or if I were to turn my TV on, which hasn't been turned on in like 4 years, there would be noise coming from that, but it would be suppressed. I'm not a music or sound expert, or even a novice. So there's noise cancellation, noise suppression. So like right now, if I could start tapping by hand, you might be able to hear it. It's within proximity. I think that is how it works. All right, so it's gonna share this, and if people haven't seen this before, it's fucking hilarious. Here you go.
One resident describes her horrifying experience when she first realized the complex was on fire.
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop, and then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out. I didn't grab no news or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life, and the smoke got me. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
According to the apartment manager, the fire started in a woman's...
So that's all that has to be said. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'll drop that link into the YouTube chat as well, which I haven't been looking at.
I'm going to be dropping the link for Just Jack and his family. If you guys are just joining recently, haven't heard, they had a house fire that it spread. It was a propane tank that caught on, that exploded, destroyed the truck, the house, the camper, and the tool shed next to the camper.
Oh, wow.
They pretty much lost everything. If you guys can help out, that'd be awesome. They got a GoFundMe going right now. But yeah, they could definitely use some help for sure.
That's awesome. And I'm sorry, awesome that there's a GoFundMe. Unfortunately, yeah, that sucks that happened. But I'm always looking for ways to help people out. And that's when I started doing the trivia for
people,
charity.
Andrew.
Yeah. Oh, I met Jack. That dude has a fucking grip.
Well, no, his family though, and family structure and everything. I built him a garden. I think it was like 2018. Huge garden. I hung out with them there for like a month. The most amazing family. They're Torah observant, like real Torah following people. And it was just the most beautiful family atmosphere I'd ever been in. All the children are super polite and respectful. Every Saturday, nobody does anything. They all just hang out and eat cold cuts and cheese and play board games and have family days. That's like their Sabbath. Dude, it was just beautiful. They save 10% of all they earn and give it away to charity 2 times a year. Like they follow Torah. And yeah, there's anybody worth helping out. This is a family worth helping out right here.
Yeah, when I say it's awesome, it's because the next trivia I was doing, I didn't have any.
Yeah, like a reason.
Oh, yeah, any beneficiary.
There you go.
It's just because the next one is going to be the subjects are the Bible, the Book of Enoch, Christian denominations, Christian archaeology, and Christian prophecies. So it's just going to be purely Christian upon popular request. That's what people wanted me to do for the next one. And yeah, I'll definitely be promoting that. Yeah.
Oh. Well, sun's coming around, folks. We'll get another day. Thank you. It's the little things. You know, I guess that's not such a little thing. It's a pretty big thing that we all just kind of assume is going to happen every day.
Why wouldn't it?
Huh?
Why wouldn't it happen?
Well, the creator decided that it's not going to happen anymore. Like, we all take it for granted. The sun's there, comes around every day, pretty much makes this place run, right? What happens if it doesn't come around anymore?
I would say that one part of the earth would be in just...
No, not saying that it stops. I'm saying that it just goes out.
Oh, well, according to astrophysics and the laws of thermodynamics, everyone would freeze. Everything would die. What? That's so hypothetical. Like,
now, do we get all of our energy from the sun? Or is a lot of this heat released from beneath us in the ground?
I think, I think some of it's probably stored in the soil and the sand and in the rocks. But then at a certain point, it does start to cool down because the sun isn't emitting those rays of light which heat things up. It's radiation. They do cool down.
Yeah, that's what we're told.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Well, I think there's a whole lot to be said for shade.
I like shade.
Why do you like shade?
It keeps me out of the sun. I didn't say we to get no heat from the sun. I said, is some of the heat coming from beneath us? No, the sun definitely puts off heat. I mean
it's pretty easy to determine, isn't it?
Yeah. I stand out in the sun.
Wasn't it going to just be based on what the outside temperature is? Like, depending on the weather is going to depend on, like, whether what's coming from the ground is to be considered heat. Otherwise,
the sun's not there at night. It doesn't mean that it definitely gets cooler, but it doesn't have no temperature. I mean, there's nights where it's 70 degrees still. No sun there at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I know the deeper we dig, the hotter it gets. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, like I've seen some people that go spelunking, which I'll never fucking do that. I've been in one cave in northern California. I didn't like going in there at all. You had to have flashlights and shit. And yeah, they said, yeah, it's going to start getting warm as you get down there. I don't know if it's because the heat doesn't have anywhere to go, or because the lower you go, the hotter it gets.
It gets up to like, well, allegedly 200 some odd degrees when you get way, way down there. That's crazy.
Yeah, the temperature to cook chicken is 165.
Paper will ignite at what, 251 degrees Fahrenheit?
Which one?
Paper, or is that 451?
That's it. Yeah, 451. That's the temperature in order for anything to create ash. Like Fahrenheit 451, the book.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I was talking to a roommate about that.
You can stand over a volcano, right? What's the difference between magma and permafrost? Beyond temperature, nothing.
Magma.
That's the Austin Powers thing, isn't it? The Dr. Evil.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's just how I say it, dude. What are you making fun of me or something? That's how it's spelled. M-A-G-M-A. Yes, that's the Austin Powers thing. Dr. Evil Laser.
You got me freaking sharks with freaking laser beams on their freaking heads.
It's fun to go back and watch some of those, dare I say, older movies. And I rarely have a student that's older than me in my class, but sometimes I'll talk about how I used to work at Blockbuster Video when I was in high school. They're like, what the fuck is that? Oh. Whoops.
They're too young to even get the meme? Really?
I don't know. All right, fuck it. It's Andrew's video share of next. It's only 14 seconds long. If people have ever seen it. Hey, kids. Dr. Evil. Probably Mike Myers' best, I don't know, whatever.
Even after they pay me the money, I'm still going to melt every city on the planet with liquid hot magma. With liquid hot magma. Liquid hot magma. Magma. With liquid hot magma.
It's exactly how it's spelled. I don't understand. I don't see why that's funny.
It's Dr. Evil.
You're Dr.
$100 million. Okay.
So I've been learning about bullet grains and how they fly. Difference, between, since my rifle shoots handgun ammo, there are companies that make a 357 mag, like rifle round. It's got a pointed tip on it and all that stuff. But the grain, it only goes up to like 120 grain. And if you want to hit something and actually do some damage to it at 150 yards, they say you should be at least 158 grain. Like, you're going to need that if you want to kill a deer at 150 yards. You better have a little bit of weight to your projectile, or else it's not going to have that thumping power, that penetration power when it gets to your target. Yeah, it's neat. I'm learning all about bullets, and just a little bit more powder makes a lot more bang.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like a 9mm round is bigger than a 357 Magnum. the actual round. The only difference is the 357 Magnum has more powder, so it shoots the projectile a lot faster.
Also less accurate. What?
No, more accurate.
What? No way.
Yeah. It doesn't drop nearly as much as a 9mm does. Now, this is over distance, 100 yards plus. A 9mm will drop about 6 to 9 inches at 100 yards. Where a 357 mag only drops about 3 inches.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you. I just had it in the back of my mind because the standard military NATO round 5.56 is for the M16, M4s, and those types of rifles. And a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, they're so weak." No, they aren't. They actually have more penetrating power than a 7.62. They don't have as much stopping power, but they will penetrate through bulletproof vests and dictionaries and phone books.
Yeah, they're not as heavy as the 7.62, but it's still moving. It moves very fast. It's like the size of a 22 bullet, but with like 5 times as much black powder behind it. They don't put black powder in these guns. They use a smokeless powder. Something to do with the semi-automatic weapons. The explosion makes it so it chambers the next round and everything in cycles. Well, black powder doesn't do that. I learned that yesterday.
Yeah, smokeless powder doesn't do well in the black powder rifle either.
No.
You don't put smokeless powder in a powder horn.
So I'm going to share a screen again. The short, I think it's a minute long. It's this YouTube channel. This guy, he's got this big field out in Texas. It's called Yee Life. And he tests how many things can stop a 50 cal sniper rifle round. And he always starts off with a 22.
I'm confused. Like, is a 22 gonna stop a 50 cal round?
No. In this example, he just shows how many sheets of drywall does it take to stop a 50 cal.
Gotcha. What's the 22 got to do with it?
Well, because he starts off with the 22, goes into the 9mm, he goes into a 5.56, and then different.
Oh, he's also shooting at the drywall for some reason. In order to see how many sheets of drywall it takes to stop a 50 cal, he felt the need to shoot a 22 at it, and then a 9mm, and then other rounds at it too.
Yeah, he just
he's testing them all. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many pieces of drywall would it take to stop a bullet? I've got 50 sheets of drywall lined up here, and I'm going to shoot them with higher and higher caliber bullets all the way up to a 50 cal and see how many sheets each round will go through. Good luck, Fred. Starting out with a 22. Our bullet entered right here. It went through 4 sheets, bounced off the fit, and landed right here. Next up, 45 ACP. Our bullet entered right here, and it made it through 12 sheets and bounced off number 13. Next up, 9mm. Okay, the bullet entered right here, and it made it through 13 sheets of drywall and landed right here. Fred's still okay. Moving up to the revolver, shooting around a 44 Magnum. Bullet came in right here, and it made it through 16 sheets of drywall and landed right here. Moving up to the Desert Eagle. Our Desert Eagle made it through 19 sheets of drywall and landed right here. Moving up to the Gold Scar, shooting around a 308. All right, the Gold Scar made it clean through 15 sheets and then bounced off of number 16 here. Moving up to the 12 gauge, shooting a slug. All right. The bullet made it through 11 sheets of drywall. Here's our slug right here. Moving up to the 50 cal. Fred. Oh, sweet. Our 50 cal came in here and it made it through 25 sheets of drywall and landed right here. Fred survived.
Cool. So the answer is, I don't know.
At the range, shooting those Barrett 50s, dude, you can feel it when they shoot that thing. It's just different than any other gun that's being fired at the range. When you hear one of those 50s go off, it's like, who's got a cannon? Is there a tank parked somewhere around here? They're so much louder.
So
much louder.
A Mark 19? You know what that is?
Is that a fragmentation grenade?
It's a 40 millimeter high explosive belt fed round. Well, it can also be used in an M203. Like a single shot. But it's not a grenade. Well, technically, I guess it is.
I mean, what is the M203 if not an underbarrel grenade launcher?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the under part of it.
I mean, it takes a very specific type of grenade. It's like you can't just put a pineapple grenade in there and try to shoot it out the end of the barrel. It takes a very specific. Right. But it said grenade.
But yeah, as Zack was just saying, it's very hardcore when you start hearing a 50 cal being shot, especially when it's belt fed, or the Mark 19, or the M240 Bravo, or these different crew serve weapons. You basically go deaf when you're at the shooting range for qualifications. I was at not a Mark 19, M240 Bravo. That was my fire team. But yeah, everyone's interested in, it's Yee Life. He puts out videos pretty often. Even his old videos are pretty fun to watch because he'll test how many cutting boards can stop a 50 cal, and how about this big boulder? 50 cal goes through so many things. I like guns, but I will not confirm or deny if I have any.
I will confirm I'm getting my 54 caliber muzzleloader in the mail either today or tomorrow.
Ooh. Are you going to play with it and record it and show it to us a little bit?
Maybe. I'm going to take a look at it and see just how ripped off I got.
Whoa. Not a good start.
No, I think it'll be fine. And for all intents and purposes, I do have a 45 caliber. It needs a little repair. It was my father-in-law's. It's like the one gun none of his sons wanted. No thanks. No thanks. So it was just kind of hanging on his wall. Here I come along looking for black powder muzzleloader rifle. I think he was kind of happy to get rid of it because he tried multiple times, I think.
What are the gun laws in your state?
Very lax.
In my state
they're pretty nice.
Yeah, mine's constitutional carry.
Mine too.
You can open or close conceal. And you're all good.
Depending on the location. Like usually my grocery store doesn't like it out in the open.
No, I mean, there's quite a few places that'll have it marked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't enter with a firearm. Most public buildings, you can't bring in a firearm. Okay. And private businesses.
A lot of ours are specifically marked that they don't like the open display, the open carry.
Okay.
No open carry. Like you can totally have it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They just don't like the display of it.
And I understand that. People get scared when they see a gun. I think people are retarded. I think the movies have retarded so many people. Yes, guns are dangerous. So are forks. So are knives.
That said, I was sitting in my car getting high before I went into the grocery store just the other day and saw this guy coming out wearing a t-shirt much too small and feeling in need. You could just tell like he wasn't used to, or he was very self-conscious about it. He was always there. Maybe he just wasn't used to a t-shirt that small. Maybe that's what it is. But he's just like, hey, you could tell he was carrying because the t-shirt was so small, but he just kept trying to pull it down and cover it. Like every third step, he'd reach back and touch it or reach back and pull it down, cover it up again. It's like, all right, I get you.
Yeah, I just got me a drop leg holster or a drop leg support for my holster because my arms are real long. And my body is not. My torso, like I have really long legs and really long arms. And when I put my hands down by my side, they come nowhere to my hips. I'm like halfway down my leg. I can touch like the middle of my quads just standing straight up. So having a holster on my belt way up here, dude, I gotta just to touch the gun, put my hand where I'm supposed to pick it up. My elbow's already bent beyond 90 degrees. Then to get it out, like my elbow's bent all the way, pulling up. I don't like it. It takes way too long.
Now,
so
can I say to be fair that
leg, dude,
if you're,
I can pull it out in chamber one in less than 2 seconds, easy.
If you're John Wicking it, your hands should already sort of be up. Like that's why so many cops keep their hands up above their waist. That's why they stand looking so weird, because they're trained to not to drop their hands below their waist. Always in that sort of ready position, whether they're sort of balanced on their hips or they just sort of place them and clasp their fingers and stand in that weird kind of odd position. Almost makes them look like a fucking astronaut hanging from a harness, pretending to be on the ISS. They just kind of have to stand there. That's so their hands are that much closer to their gun, or that much closer to throw a punch, or that much ready to block something coming in. Just sort of at the ready position. You can walk around with your hands down by your sides, but when you're interacting with them, with somebody, those hands go up right there by your utility belt, ready to go. Always ready to go.
And I got it because my tactical vest that I have, it sticks out so far, like right above my belt, that it's hard to even get it out when I'm wearing my tactical vest.
I think they look cool. Like, I don't care if it's a modern sort of tactical drop leg or if it's an old Western drop hip.
Leather one.
That slings down low.
Too.
I think those look badass too.
I need to get one for my left leg. I'll look like Tomb Raider.
Yeah, like a Timu Laura Croft.
I like it though. I'm a lot faster on my draw.
Oh yeah,
a lot faster. Yeah,
and that's without much practice. Faster. It's having just gotten it.
Yeah,
I think after about 150 hours of practice,
it was instantly faster than having it way up here on my hip and trying to deal with all it. Dude, because your holsters, a lot of them have a bunch of different settings. You can set them to where they're like sideways and, facing almost every direction, leaning forward, tilted back a little bit, however you want it. So I was trying all different sides of my belt, in front, in back, both sides. Nothing was comfortable. Nothing was, and it sticks out like a sore thumb no matter where I put it. I'm so skinny. So it being down on my leg where people can see it, or being up here and just sticking out of, even a hooded sweatshirt. When I turn or something, you could still see it if you were looking for it. So like, no point in trying to hide this thing. It's an open carry state. I can open carry wherever. This thing's going on my leg. And I got a Black Hawk holster where it's got the button. It won't just go falling out. There's no strap or anything, but yeah, you got to actually engage a button and then pull up. Yeah, getting ready for World War III. I was going to be ordering whatchamacallit this weekend, a reloader, but I'm going to be putting some money to Just Jack and the fam until they get back on their feet proper. They've helped me out plenty over the years and just are amazing people. I mean, it feels good to help people you don't like. To help great people that are awesome, it feels that much better. You know what I mean? Even helping out strangers feels amazing. But helping out people that you love and you know are like some of the best people you've ever met, I mean, that's like the stuff that you should live for, you know? Helping out loved ones that actually need it. Not just like, oh, it's their birthday, I want to do something nice, but, you know, something happened and they need help and you're able to help. It's a great feeling. It really is.
If Walt here, he would probably tell you that it's more than a feeling. And then sing to you more than a feeling. But we have no idea where Walter is. We've not heard hide nor hair. I've not.
Not yet. Hopefully he wrote the message out and just forgot to send it last night.
Hopefully he wrote it out and just fell right the fuck asleep and slept so hard and so good and so deeply that it was like right through his alarm, right through whatever part of his brain was saying, dude, you're missing the show. The other part's like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I'm so comfortable right now. I'm just going to sleep. And he is still just zonked out and will eventually just slowly wake up at some point completely rested. That's what I hope.
Me too. That's gonna about do it, folks. We're getting really close to the end here.
We are, just about 3 minutes. Thanks for coming on and sharing your screen, Andrew.
My pleasure. And all this talk about guns just reminded me that I just ordered a blowgun. It's arriving today.
Nice.
40 cal blow dart gun.
Oh, darts. Gotcha. I thought you got sick of jerking off.
What? Whoa.
Look, they had things called a fleshlight. I don't know what the fuck they got going on these days. You call it a blowgun, what do you expect me to think?
A blowgun?
Fleshlight.
If you said fleshlight, I'd be like, I've heard about it. I don't know.
Right.
Like, get a girlfriend or something, and you won't need to know that information. But, yeah. And it comes with all the darts and everything, too. Yeah, I'll make a video of it when it comes. Use it in my garage and see just how powerful it really is. I don't think there's an age requirement for these. Anyways.
So they make great birthday gifts no matter the age of the child.
Yeah. Sort of like if you're going to be going to like a baby shower or something. Yeah, just bring a blowgun.
Who doesn't love a good blowgun?
It's all right. Give it a few years. They'll get used to it.
I'm really just here for the cake, but I'm sure your 4-year-old will love what I got them. It was either this or a set of drums, so you're welcome.
My mom likes to fuck with people. She's got a weird sense of humor. Those little tiny toys that look like vacuum cleaners, but as you move it forward, they all these pop bubble things. It just makes a shitload of noise. My mom buys those for new mothers. I'm just like, why? She's like, it's funny.
All right. It is funny. We love you guys. Have a great freaking weekend. Hopefully we'll be back here Monday with more of the same plus Walter. Until then, you guys will be good. Be well. Do good. Do it well. We love you. Bye-bye.